Morning.
Looks like this support's gonna break.
Morning, rakeel.
So looking at looks like GJ Daily is gonna come down further. Got a very strong support at 134,500. So we're coming heavy down to this support. Some people took sells. I know Mac was in a sell, so that's very good.
Yo, good morning, guys.
Hey,
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, look back with a new mic in the house. Bro, I just got a new mic. You better not be muted.
yeah, this is a very strong support here on GJ 134,500. This is extremely strong.
Can you hear me?
If this breaks, we'll continue moving down. Yeah, bro, we can hear you.
Awesome. Look at my chart.
Nice. Second target. This is good analysis that this move up was a fake out and then you took a sell. It's pretty good.
It's the mic.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the mic. I mean, the headsets. Look at them, though. They're dope, right? They're like,
You could spot yourself 50 miles away with those glow in the darks.
yeah, at night. Especially in the city where it's so dark. And so, you built them. Yeah,
You didn't get the ones.
right now it's like super. It's at a super strong support, so I don't know if I should close or not, but I'm gonna let it run and see how it goes while I take a shower.
Yeah, this is pretty strong support, I know.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Kevon.
What's up, Matt?
Chilling with my glowing in the dark headsets.
Yeah, this UJ whoever sent this cell, it like the only problem is there's not enough range. There's not enough range. It's a very small, tight range. Just gonna wait for GG over here. What do you think about going back down to 134 even? Yeah, I mean, we can start thinking about 134 even once we break below 134, 550 or 500. So it's got cells below 134, 500. Yeah, looks good. That's what I'm targeting too. Like once we get confirmations of this breakdown, then we're coming down. But if the support is formed, then there's a high chance we're going to continue moving up. So I'm just waiting here for GJ.
Yeah, 500. Because of that wick from April 13th. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go shower.
Man, no one needs to know you're gonna go take a shower. Honestly, no one cares.
Yeah.
So if you just
And that's when you say I'm gonna go cuffing. Nobody.
oh. Gold seems like it's creating a little support here. What is spreads of gold? 5 pips, 6 pips, not bad. Alright, let's take a look here. USD CAD, 2-hour chart. So since there's no information here, I would say you're looking for cells above this from this gray area. I mean, that's what makes sense to me. So good, looks good. If GJ breaks the support, what's your target? If GJ breaks the support, you need to take a look left. So I'm looking left here, let's say on the 1-hour time frame. And what I see is that I see this wick here to the left where price broke below around London close on the 8th April, came down to and tapped 134.350. So that's going to be a good target. That's like a 20 pip range inside here. But if you look on the 4-hour, and if we break the support, it makes sense to come down to this wick here too, because 4-hour came down and it tapped this area. So when a high time frame like that taps an area, that's some like a very very important area. So you look at the price, you're like, okay, maybe 134.350 is a strong price. So it kind of like waiting right now because there's no buys, because there's no confirmations to take buys. There's no sells because, you know, we're at support. So the only thing we can do is just wait. This is a resistance PJ formed. This is 30 pips, 30 pip range. Looks like price is coming up to form a new resistance and close bearish on the 30. Yep, I think those sells are going to look good once you have candle closing bearish.
Yeah, just waiting on that.
Do you use Fibonacci's? No. No Fibonacci's. Looking at GJ daily, it tapped into a strong support, which was resistance there. So that's why 134,500 is a strong level. Man,
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So if there's a support confirmation here, come up over here, and from here it's a clean candle going up to 135, 100, 135, 200. Hey, work with Will, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good.
How's the corona?
Good, good. Man, you're doing a good job there in Indonesia. I keep looking at your posts and stories, and whoever from Indonesia messages me and they're like, "Oh, me no speak English." I say, "Oh, work with Will. He speaks your language."
Yeah. Just trying to create your career?
Yeah. Language barrier.
Yeah, language barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying. But I love trading, man. Because I make a loss before, yeah. I think like if I make a loss, I'm pretty sure I can make a win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 80% of your trading is psychology. You make your own decision.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Huh? Yeah, I took a buy on GJ.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bias is also bullish. Very bullish.
Yeah. No.
Gold should continue up too once it breaks above 1724. Wow, 1724.
It's already okay. This one, yeah. Wait.
Why is it very bullish? Because if you look on the daily came up, it created a high around 27th March, 30th March, but at the end of last month, created a high came down. We created a massive support at 132,500. Came up, broke that high at the end of the last month that was created. Made a new high at 135,780. Came back down. This daily candle, if this closes bullish, then the support is respected around 134,500. Because if that support gets respected on, let's say, the daily time frame, then we know, okay, now there's a very, very high probability for price to continue moving bullish. So that can be looked at right over here. Even if you look on the 4-hour, strong support. Look at the 1 hour, 134,500 is a strong support here as well.
Just did a liquidity grab.
Yeah. GN candle break the resistance zone. Waiting for this candle to close bullish. Take a buy. Place stop loss below this candle. Yeah, looks good. I think it's going to look better on the 1 hour because right now it's just, you know, just printing side by side. They're kind of like starting to create a range. If GJ goes long, I think a really good target, a very safe target, is going to be around 135, 100 and 135, 200. After that, you're letting a runner run to wherever it wants to go. I think long term, if it starts to break above 135, 400, it should go to 136 if you look on the daily. 136, 136, 500. Up over here. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more here for GJ. Maybe a buy stop at 134,900. Let's just wait and see. What do you think oil? I don't think anything about oil.
I like a buy stop at 134,900. That's what I was literally looking at because I'm thinking that depending on how this hour closes, the next hour I want a drop down again, and then I want to push up, and that next hour should be our drive up. Like I can't see this 30-minute candle going full bullish in terms of breaking above 900. So I think there's still going to be one more pullback. That's what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, it makes sense because like on the 1 hour, if the next 1 hour breaks above here, then there's a high possibility it's going to continue moving.
Yeah, because I've seen this before where this 1 hour candle looks like this, the next 1 hour candle drops here, and then the following 1 hour candle does this, right? So that's what I'm conscious of. I don't want it to sit like this and then have something like this. So I would rather see something like this so that we could get then the next candle going up. I don't like this format.
This entire area is consolidation. This is also the same area consolidation. Once you break above there, then there's a clean traffic. It's a clean highway.
Mm-hmm.
That's our HUV lane right over here.
Well, yeah, because essentially what you'll do is this candle here, and then there'll be this candle over here. So you'll have that mirror over here. That's what I'm anticipating. So your target could be this area here. this would be an easy target for you to fill. But the thing is, when you take a trade, you also have to make sure the candles over in this area here make sense, right? There's no point of putting a buy stop here if the candle is now looking like this, because you could have a candle pops up and then drives right down. So you have to be very cognizant of how the candle is building. That's the mistake people make when they put buy stops. They automatically put a buy stop here, right? They'll put a buy stop right here, and then they'll say, okay, well, because Ted and Raja said buy stop, I put a buy stop here. It pops up here, and then it drives back down. They're like, well, what happened? Why did it fail? It's because the candle structure here did not have the support. You essentially want to see something like this. This idea here, you want it to be over here. You have to have that same sort of idea. So if we're looking for this clean traffic here, I want to see a rejection to the downside and a push to the upside. In that respect, I want to see something that looks like this. I don't want to see something that pops up and then drives back down. That's not a buy stop.
Yeah, I got a buy stop at 134.920.
Well, I closed the runner I had at 134.550, and I'm done for the day.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not taking any more trades today. I was up since 4 o'clock, so I got some trades already. I'm done.
Kavan's you're on another sleeping pattern now?
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
I mean, I was up at 4, and I didn't see anything for a while. It was consolidating. I went back to sleep. You grabbed the what? GJ buys on under London, Kavan?
Yeah. I was just looking at GU, but GJ, when I was looking at GJ, it was so bearish that I was like, I didn't want to take those buys on GU. But
yeah, you said GU was following GJ, I mean vice versa.
Yeah, it has a GU sometimes has a lag in it, where vice versa. Either GU comes first and GJ comes second.
Right.
But look at GU is actually bouncing. So GJ is technically still bullish. Like there's no explanation. I thought it was news earlier, but there's nothing. So it should technically keep going up.
I just thought it was just a liquidity grab.
Yeah.
To continue up.
So this chart here, I think you should have been looking at the 15-minute candle closes if you got stopped out right over here. Because if you look on the 15-minute, once this candle closed bearish, then you should have been out of the trade or maybe close 50% of the trade or what. So it's all about trade management. Like you can get stopped out at the best setups, but then what you do while you get stopped out is what makes a difference. Like, are you closing 50%? Are you like, getting out with a smaller stop, or like, what your plan is? So that depends on trade management.
And that's where everyone feels like even the best trades or sometimes the worst trades, if that makes any sense. Like, they're not always going to go in your favor. You just have to take the best setups.
Clean candle. Yeah, again, I think this is not enough range here, down here, but it should work out if you get the 30-minute candle closing bearish.
Roger, you don't trade EJ anymore?
No. No way, Jose.
We used to trade EJ back then in Nation a lot.
Thought you didn't have plans to trade during the bank holiday. Yes, we didn't trade yesterday. I mean, the bank holiday lasts for a day, nothing longer than that.
Not a week.
It's this chart. UJ, 4-hour support broken. Okay, new low. What is negative is that the candle has closed flush, but the bias in daily is bullish. Okay, sell stuff at the new low, risking 10 pips. Perfect. I think if you get a confirmation right over here where the candle is, you could probably have a better entry and have the same stop above that candle, if you're waiting for the low to be broken.
Yeah.
So if my buy stop gets activated, stop is going to be around 134.750. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because that's above the 1 hour high. So if the next candle breaks the 1 hour high, then there's a higher chance it's going to continue moving up. So that's going to be pretty good. So I would expect price to just continue moving instead of retracing all the way down within this range. But let's see what happens.
Hey, Rakeel,
Hey,
that chart I sent on UJ, would you put your stop loss above that wick, that bearish wick?
I don't remember this one.
Is that UJ? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, that wick.
For sells.
For sales, yeah. Would you put your stop above that wick or closer?
Yeah, above that wick.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so with GJ now, what I'd be looking for is, if you go back to the 30-minute, Raja, this zone here to be respected. So if you're looking to take trades, you're looking for this candle to go bullish. Your stop loss is going to be around here or over here. But as we start to move, this candle should pop up and the next candle should break above the zone. So you can actually place your stop loss maybe over here at that point. So your stop loss goes across here, so you get a better risk to reward. So that's what you're waiting for. If you're looking for a buy stop probably works above this level over here. But once again, your stop loss is very wide, so you have to be able to manage that. And your anticipation is if this breaks to the upside, you're then clearing up over to here. So your reward to your risk is imbalanced, or is in balance in that respect, so that you have a positive risk to reward. But you have to manage that. I think when you see this pop up, probably the second half hour, we may get a move. If you're watching the 15-minute candles or 5-minute candles, you can probably get an earlier entry. But I think your second half of the hour, this will probably go bullish. So that's what I'd probably be watching. But I mean, I always watch the smaller time frames too to see if we can get some information there. And you can see the 5-minute already created a support again, and we're going to break out of the consolidation range that we're in on the 5-minute. Winnie Venus. I've been speaking for the last 10 minutes. Jeez. So awkward.
Venus.
Okay, what's this? Euro AUD. Price broke key resistance, closed above. I think the problem here was the candles weren't closing big bullish candles. You see, they're very tiny. This means less volume. So that was one mistake. But we learn and we move on. Oh, wrong chart. Does UJ and GJ have any correlation when moving? It looks like UJ is going down. They have a correlation in the Asian session because it's influenced by the yen, but in New York and London, especially with the New York and London crossover, they don't have much correlation because UJ is influenced by the US dollar and GJ is being influenced by the pound. So if someone's out there trying to take a trade on GJ based on UJ, I think you're gonna have a very bad time. Okay, what's this chart? If we break above looking for buys, TP right over here. Yep, it's pretty good. Looks good. You're looking for sells below 134,500 as well. That's also pretty good. So there's a lot of waiting going on. Check GU, please. Let's take a look here. GU, resistance, broke resistance. Guess you took a buy as candle came down. Your TP is up over there. I mean, looks good. I mean, if you start getting bullish candles closing on the small time frames, then it'll look really good to continue going up. So nice one. Also hope you're securing positions as well. I get really antsy when people go in profits and they don't secure. I'm just like, just secure it. Secure something. Start getting anxiety attacks for people. Did you set a sell stop as well on GJ? Well, no. What you see on the screen is what I have. The budget of responsibility here in the UK has released what the link could be the potential impact of coronavirus. Let's take a look here.
It's running slow because it only got released 5 minutes ago. So I think there's a lot of people trying to.
Yeah, possibly a lot of
Get
people
on that
trying to get
website.
on that. Probably gonna take a look here later on. Did you set a no?
Yeah, I got a buy stop with GJ at 134,850. Because I think now that if we pop back up into that range, 134,900 will get hit as well. But I just want the earlier entry. That's it. You can probably move your buy stop probably now to 800. Because I'm thinking, my thought process is this consolidation range is happening over here. And as soon as we pop out of here, we're on our way. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Closer.
Yeah, it just allows us to get a better entry. Mind you, if this support breaks, what you're looking for with a break in support here is you're looking for this. You're looking for a candle in here to break and then this candle to continue. So you wouldn't want to take a sell over in this spot over here because we're in this range. You'd be looking for a break here where we have rejection over at the upside, and then the next candle over here would probably be your safe candle because you still have this area here to play with, which would be over here, and this too. So you're looking for technically the candle here that rejects off of 134.550 to drive back down to 350 at that point. So you need to be very careful when you're taking, if you're going to take a sell, I would really wait till this candle breaks out of that range. And if this candle just goes straight to here, then you miss the trade. There's nothing you can do. You have to get used to that as well. When you anticipate opportunities, you're anticipating safe opportunities. You're not trying to say, well, what if this candle just continues to go down? If it just continues to go down, then there was no opportunity. But what I'm clearly looking for is rejection here and then a drive. So I want to see that rejection so that I can safely assume that orders were taken at the top part of that candle to drive us down to the bottom part. I don't care if this candle drives all the way down right now in the next, 30 minutes. That's not a trade I would ever take anyways. That's market movement. Get used to it. You have to accept the fact that you did that. I mean, you can, if you want to counter that, you can put a sell stop over here, drive it down to here. But I mean, even then still, you have this wick area here to contend with. So is it really that safe, right? So you really want to look at patterns on the candles that are easy moves, right? So if we examine this area over here, what's easy about it? You can see rejections to the downside, rejections to the downside, rejection to the downside, and straight bullish movement up, right? Over here, easy moves, right? Rejection to the upside, rejection to the upside, rejection to the upside, clear move down. That's what you have to get used to trading. This is not trading. This is not trading. Please, 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 for the love of your trading account, look at opportunities where you're like, hey, this would have been a great, easy, bullish movement up. So where can I find that again? Hey, this is a great movement down. Where can I find that again? And look for those opportunities. This over here is account death, right? So if you want to blow your account blowing setup. There you go. That's what you're looking for. That's an account blowing setup. And also over here, this is an account blowing setup. So if you want to trade with candles that look like this over here, this is an account blowing setup. So trade within that area and keep buying and selling. And then you will have a lot of accounts blown, and then you will realize that after you blow your account, this setup over here then starts to do this. Drops, drops, and then you're like, oh, look, it finally went down. And it's like, yeah, but you lost all your money over here trying to be a hero when you could have had free money over here. I mean, just use logical sense. Just be smart with your money. If you don't see what you want to see in the market, don't take a trade. Who cares? If this candle here drops all the way down to here, oh well, that's life, right? You should have got in over here. How would you have got in over there? You wake up earlier. You set your targets up earlier. You can't turn around and complain now that this goes all the way down and you didn't get an entry. There's no retest, nothing. You miss it. It's too bad.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for too. Like, I mean, if it just breaks support, it keeps heading down. There's no way you can. There's like nothing, no confirmation to take the trade at all.
How do we anticipate those areas of ranges? Well, all you do in this situation here is you look to the left and you look to the left and you look to the left, right? So as an example, when we're looking for our bias going for buys, we can see we have clean traffic all the way across. Here, we can see we have consolidation. So more than likely, using our experience and our knowledge and our confidence, we could clearly say that over in this area here, we're going to have consolidation, right? Because we're using probability to say that this will be consolidation, this will be our breakout, and this will be our breakout. Because why on the left, we can see clean moves where we have the breakout areas, and in the consolidation areas, we see a lot of traffic. So that's what you're looking for at that point, and you're looking to say, hey, once we break out of that consolidation, then we're getting ready to move out of the way. And what we do, once again, just like we talk about every morning, what do our higher time frames show? If our higher time frames are moving in the same direction, we look for the same position in our lower time frames, because then we know that we're on the right path. Same thing every day. I wonder how many people here are actually profitable with this strategy, or you're all just waiting for a single signal. Yeah, I always wonder how many people here are profitable too. It's keeps me up at night. This is going to be the highlight reel of we wait for 2 hours and we catch the trade and it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like a whole speech.
There you go. Someone's very profitable in the chat. That's good to hear. Oh, someone else is profitable. There you go. So now here's a perfect example where if you want to be an advanced trader here, you would say that this is the bottom of my range. I will place a stop here and I will take buys in this area here with no candle confirmation on the basis that I believe we're going up. But I'm willing to accept that there's a stop here and I could get stopped out very fast multiple times. So if you want to be a hero and trade within this range, that's how you'd be trading that range, because we're at the bottom portion of this consolidation. So there's opportunity to buy from the bottom of the range to get up. Myself personally, I prefer to take easy caveman trades where I see this and I know that we can go in and out and in and out, in and out. And then what I look at is I look at over to the left and over to the left. And I say, well, I'm a caveman and I want a very, very easy win. So I'm going to wait for candles to print like this for easy wins. Even though other people can take trades down in this area here and be like, oh, well, I bought the bottom and I rode it all the way up. That's good. I'm happy for a lot of those people. But for me, I like nice, easy trades where the candle just goes up and I don't have to worry about anything, and my stop loss is here and my take profit is up over here. So I will wait. I'm very patient. There's never been a point in my trading career where I've made trading difficult. I just look for the same thing over and over again. I'm looking for this right over here. And the great thing about looking for that is I know I have two opportunities. I have that opportunity and then eventually this opportunity, and I still have more opportunity over up at the top. So I have like 3 or 4 opportunities to catch this trade. And if I don't catch it on 30-minute, I can move into the 15-minute and the 5-minute to even figure out how to get into this candle over here when it peers over here. That's the best part about the caveman strategy. Is the caveman strategy says when every single one of your time frames are moving in the same direction, chances are wherever you take a trade, it's going to move in that direction.
That is true.
Yeah, man. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
We are cavemans.
Yep.
Homo sapiens. Oh no, that's who we are now. Homo sapiens sapiens.
What's this? USD CAD cells. Let's take a look at this. Bearish descending structure on the 4-hour, broke support and holding a retest. Resistance suspected would mean cells waiting for confirmation. I think you need to maybe zoom in a little bit and maybe focus on this area over here. It's too zoomed out, it can't do shit. So yeah, that's the area you would need to break. And then there's some problem over here. Then you got a zone over here where it might come down to. So there we go.
Yeah, Ted. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey,
Remember yesterday, I messaged you yesterday, and I was talking about gold, and I said that I wanted to see a retest of 1700, due to strong psychological levels at 1700, and it's just like,
yeah,
no retest.
yeah, it flew. I missed that whole move on the way up to 1700. That was ridiculous.
Hey, what's up, team?
Hey, Mark. It started at like 1689, and then every hour was just like boom, and then boom, boom. It's like wow. So, yeah, still want a retest of 1700 before I even touch gold. We'll have to see.
I don't think we'll get it. The hour's holding support at 1717. Pretty nice. It's crazy.
Okay, what's this? UJ 15-minute. Break below the support. Yep, looks good. Zones are also marked nicely. This yellow zone, bottom zone, so very nice. Oh, what's this? 4-hour. We got a bunch of artificial support resistances over here. Pivot weekly, MACD divergence, 1 hour, 4 hour. Looking for sells. Yeah, looks good.
Looks good to me. The gold pips are starting to tighten up. Spreads are starting to get tighter.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I noticed with gold now, it's nicer. It's getting back to normal. It would have been nice if they had done that at 1689, so we could have got an entry.
Yeah, I was looking at for 1706 area, but it ain't came.
I didn't trade anything yesterday. I missed gold on the move up. I missed gold at 1689. I missed a whole bunch. But just sucks. Oh well. Because that weekly's printed a new high. The monthly now on gold, I mean, you have a nice move up to 770 if we do continue, but I think first stop is like 1750. But I don't know how we're going to get there because there's no structure on the smaller time frames, really. And it's weird because the Dow is now heading up again. The futures market is up. All this optimism has come back, and I don't know where it's come from. The whole market's in a big mess.
The market doesn't make any sense because I wanted to scale in some more with my ETF index funds, and I was like, it just doesn't make any sense because now you're potentially going to have all these Airbnb homes that's been purchased with mortgages are going to hit the market pretty soon, and then the small business is running out of cash. So
that's what I mean. Like the market's setting up for a massive dump. Like that's what I was last night. I was watching that Bachelor show with the music people. They were like trying to get together. Musicians are trying to find love.
Yeah, find love. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that. I was watching the show. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because the market's rallying right now, and we have all these problems in the United States with people dying, isolation, and stuff like that. Like, where is this optimism coming from? And it's just pure speculation at this point. And I literally was sitting there for 15 minutes trying to wrap my head around this. And then as I started to do research, I was sitting there. This is worse than 2008.
Way worse. Because there's not a history that the country has ever been shut down, and the country's airlines are not. There's no airlines flying out. There's barely any hotels open. Business. The only thing that's pretty much open is groceries and hospitals. Mm-hmm. So, and a couple food restaurants. So,
if you look at, I know some people were saying you don't understand why certain businesses and certain things are not crashing the way they're supposed to. If you look at the stimulus packages that have been announced by Trump, he announced $2 trillion stimulus package, but he said that $2.8 billion were going to go into buying junk ETF bonds.
Oh shit! Okay. So basically, what he did was take $2 trillion and put it into a fucking slot machine.
Yeah, so he bought a credit exchange fund, a credit ETF fund called HYG, and that fund is basically made up of Uber, Netflix. It's crazy. But yeah, he's basically bought a bunch of stocks and they're all inflating.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was I thought you were gonna tell what's the credit saying? Is it Sue something, Cassie Sue or something like that, or forgot what the name of it was. But I was looking at it the other day. I was like, this shit doesn't make any sense. It's going up. But, okay. Good. Thanks for the information. And also that stimulus package, even for small business, like no banks want to touch it right now, give any business any loans because like there's like a weird wording in there that no one wants to give out loans because it seems like the government won't take care of those loans if anything happens.
What's happening in the UK, Kavan, sorry, is basically the Chancellor came out and said that all of these loans were available, and grants were available for small businesses up to like a certain amount. So then they said, but you have to go to your bank and you have to get it from your bank. So they passed the book to the banks, and the banks taking all the risk now. So then what the banks did is the banks passed it onto the customers and said, well, if you want a loan above, let's say 50K, you got to put your house up or you got to put your place of business up and there's like a thing going on right now, especially with Barclays Bank, because that's not what the government said, but the government aren't doing anything because the bank's taking all the risk, not the government.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
the reason why is because like it's uncertain times, and the government doesn't know if people can pay back the loans because they're uncertain that the economy will rebound the same way coming out of this in like a V shape, what Trump and Boris Johnson have been talking about. So if the V shape is kind of not really expected and the V turns into an N, then the risk is basically is placed on the government because the government has to kind of cover the other side of all those loans that they've talked about. Whereas if they pass that on to the banks now realize that, well, this V could turn into an N. So what we have to do is we have to figure out a way to kind of recoup whatever we lose, which is shady, really. But it just shows that, the economy is like what Ted's saying, is setting up for a big crash.
Yeah, that makes sense. This could be the liquidity grab that the market is gearing up for to go lower.
I still think the average public member still got their head in the sand.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the severity of the actual problem,
Yes.
I spoke about when I think it was in one of the things I posted on my Instagram story that when we approach like a recession, stock markets usually correct from their recent highs by one standard deviation, which is like 56%. And we've only corrected 30% and we've bounced up from that. So it's like 20% now. So if we're going to go into a recession, which all economic indicators point to that, every kind of indicator you could think of from every industry, every sector points to a recession, and even to a quite bad depression, then usually stock market prices correct by 2 standard deviations, which is usually around 76%. So that would bring the stock market to like 13,000, the Dow Jones I'm talking. So we have a long way to go.
Okay.
I was looking.
Hey Ted, go ahead.
Go ahead, Doran.
Hey, did you see that Chase Bank tightened up on potential?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
They moved it up from 5% to 20%, and you need a FICO score of 700. I mean, that's pretty standard in Canada right now. So I think that's a benefit for you guys in terms of stability. But then what does that do to your housing market? Because I don't know how the U.S. housing market is in terms of purchasing power. That's the one thing that I've always looked at. Like in the U.S., it's such a wide dynamic of purchasing power, right? Like what I mean by that is, say for example, you go to Atlanta, right? You go into the suburbs of Atlanta, you can buy like a 6,000 square foot home for like $500,000, right? Yeah. Whereas, if you go into New York City, obviously you're not getting that, but Atlanta is still a pretty big hub when it comes to being a metropolis in terms of, economy and things of that nature. Same thing if you look at like Houston or the Dallas area, right? So that's where I'm always confused. Whereas in Canada, we have 3 major hubs. We have Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. That's sort of our pegging, like that's our our benchmark when we look at housing. And that's the most expensive places to live. Whereas in the States, you guys are so spread out in terms of diversification. Like obviously New York and LA are, expensive places to live, but they're not the only places where you do business. Whereas in Canada, the major cities have the cities align with the real estate market, if that makes sense, right? Like Toronto's
Yeah.
very expensive because it's a hub for business, whereas down in the States, you guys have many more hubs of business, and real estate is still relatively affordable there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like I mean, if you look, like if you go to Florida and you go to Miami, you can live 30 minutes outside of Miami, and you're still living at a decent, you have a decent property and it's a decent price,
Yeah.
right? Whereas in Toronto, if you're 30 minutes outside of the city in Toronto, you're still paying a 1.1 for a decent house, 1.1 million.
Okay.
So that's where I don't know if this 20% down payment request will change that landscape, because like say for example, you're buying a house in Florida, maybe you spend $250,000, right, or 300,000 on a house. You put down 5%, you're looking at $15,000. Now you're putting down 20%. Now suddenly you're in a little bit more at that point, right?
Yeah. So you think it will help the housing market as far as what you saying they're stabilizing the price, or
I think what it'll do is it'll correct the people that can't afford homes. Like it'll readjust everything, right? Like where people bought homes previously with 5% down. So if you bought a $300,000 home, you're looking at cost you $15,000. Now essentially it costs you $60,000. It changes the dynamic now, because it brings more stability in the sense that you have to be a little bit more serious about a home purchase than you were previously, right? We're $15,000 down. Yeah, I mean, if you saved for McDonald's for a few years, you'd have $15,000. Whereas now, working at McDonald's might not get you that house anymore.
Okay.
Is McDonald's still open over there? Because it's closed here. You wouldn't make a penny.
It depends on the area. It depends on the area.
It's all drive-through now and delivery.
We don't eat McDonald's, man. We eat Chick-fil-A. We don't eat McDonald's. We eat Chick-fil-A, man. You guys don't have Chick-fil-A in UK?
No, we don't.
Oh man. Once they introduce Chick-fil-A, man, you guys will never go to McDonald's.
You guys don't have Nando's, right?
No.
Yeah, see, Nando's shits on all of them, and it's healthier.
I removed my buy stops. I got in a GJ buy over here.
Oh, right the break here. Of the hourly candle. The 30 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that too. 15-minute candle started moving nice. My buy stop's still sitting.
Yep. The stop is below the current 30-minute candle, so I think it should continue moving. Bullish.
Up. Whoa.
Yeah, because if this starts closing bullish, the 30-minute, it broke the high of the previous 30-minute candle, so I took an entry. And if it keeps closing bullish, then the volume from New York Open should push GJ out of this resistance and continue moving up.
That is correct.
Yes, sir.
And the hour candle now has gone bullish, so that's a very good sign.
I had a buy limit. I didn't even know I had it on, and it got activated. Whoa! Jesus! Oh my ears!
Oh, shit, I was on mute the whole time.
Yeah. Now you know how we feel.
Hey.
Who's that?
Hey, I have a new mic, okay, and it's sensible, so I'm always muting it. So give me a break, okay? Please. friends again? Jesus. Since he woke up, he's got everything, bro. Personal stuff, shower. Hey, I'm not gonna take a shower. Oh man, my only pair of glasses that I broke.
We need to break 900 for this to be valid for the New York Open, I think.
Yeah, what that yellow line is, what you drew, 870.
Yeah, we need to break above that so that we hold for the next hour. Should come in the last like 10 minutes of this hour candle. We should get the push that we need.
Yeah, I've been looking at the 5 minutes, creating now higher highs and higher lows too. So
Hey, I thought you said you were done trading for the day.
I explained already. I had a buy limit and I forgot to cancel it, so it got activated.
Good luck, bro. I hope you make some bank.
Thank you, sir. Also, yes. Are you leaving already?
No, do you want me to go? Is it personal?
I'm kidding.
Raja already said he took out his buy stop and he already took an entry. So his entry right now, you can see, is right here. Stop loss is here. Take profit is here. That's all you need to know at this point. You guys got to learn to read the screen, or like understand what's going on in the screen. This is the trade right now in this area.
Yeah, it's about to break right now. Oh, nice.
Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Not yet, though.
Nice.
No, it just
Oh,
popped
no.
into that area.
Oh, there you go.
Not yet. It's not
Yeah.
yet. 5 minute candle. 5 minute candles in that range still.
Yeah, it's that I'm looking at my time and it's 7:40, and I'm thinking the 5 minutes about to close, but I remember it's the next minute, so it should be like around 1:51.
Why is take profit there of clean traffic to the left? Because that's what Raja decided would be his take profit. I don't know.
I have 135 even.
He wants.
Oh, he does too. Okay.
Yeah, he wants it there. That's fine. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you take profit where you're comfortable taking profit. Yeah, but it's his risk to reward. You can see this is the answer, risk to reward. I mean, just look very carefully. Here's the risk, here's the reward. It's a positive risk to reward. That's why. I mean, do we have to explain this like we're three? This is a very straightforward information. Here was the entry. Here is the take profit. And here is the stop loss. I mean, you can pretty much see exactly what everything is on the screen. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on the screen. I don't know. Maybe you guys need to buy bigger monitors. Ask for them for Christmas or something, or your birthdays. Like, get a bigger monitor, bigger than 13-inch or something. Because I've got two 24s sitting beside me, and I can see it perfectly. And I've got a 32 that I'm trading off of. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
All right, so at this point, if price does retrace And if it comes to my entry, I'm going to close it at break even. But so far, it's looking good to continue going up. 15 minutes also bullish. We're approaching 10 pip profit, so I'm going to secure positions at that point and leave a runner run.
Oh, shoot.
Heard someone say, "Oh shit."
No, I said, oh, shoot. Shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna close down half of it in 10 pips. Yes, Tracy. Yeah, I closed half of it already.
Mike, they're coming for you, buddy.
Hey, you heard that? For real? My mic's that good that you can hear my ambulances. Nah, that's BS. For real?
Sounded
Yeah.
like rallies to me, brother.
Yeah, so you heard that?
Yeah. Like loud and clear.
Wow, that's crazy. These are some like $5 headsets.
Price looks like it's just stuck in consolidation right now.
Yeah, that's why I closed half of it. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, it's struggling to break. I mean, if we break before 8 a.m., I think we're good to continue to 135 even. If not, then we're gonna be stuck in that area. This 5-minute candle closes above 134.80. I think I believe it should be good for 135 even.
How to leave runners running after taking a partial profit. 2 months in, don't be harsh. Yeah, so basically, if you have, let's say, a 50-cent lot, let's say you have a 50-cent lot running, right? From that 50 cent, you can maybe close 40-cent lots and leave like a 10-cent lot and then put stops at break even, and there you have a runner. Now you have a runner running. So what I'm going to do is once it heads towards, like a 134.900 or like, 134.920, 915, I'm going to close my position and I'm going to leave a partial of it running. We'll have 3 open anyway. So I'm going to leave 2 run. Can you please check my chart? Well, if you send it, we'll check it. I was actually downstairs when this 30-minute candle was breaking the high, and I was like, uh-oh. Ran upstairs to take a buy.
You don't have alerts, right, on the trading view?
Yeah, I have them, but I don't know how to use them, so I don't even bother.
I think it's like right click something, add alert, and it goes to your text messages.
Oh. What's this? GJ 15-minute, kind of early entry, but made my bias hoping next 30 minutes. Yeah, I think like my whole idea is that since this 30-minute candle is closing bullish, it's closing above the previous 30-minute candle. It's going to close in like 12 minutes here. So if it remains closing bullish, the next New York Open should lift us up above 134,900, which is why the stop is below this 30-minute candle, because if the next candle starts coming down, it should respect this 30-minute low if it's going to continue up. So we're basically, this is resistance here. It is an early aggressive entry, but it's based on the fact that it broke the high of the previous candle. And like, you know, when you have zones in the markets, your zones only get broken when when markets open, when markets close, news, and some special events, right? So the only thing happening right now is that we're going to get New York open. So, you know, based on the fact that New York open might push it through. So
Yeah, hopefully we'll get like a nice little push. Poof.
Yeah, I think you might get the first 5-minute candle to push to get the momentum from this previous hour, and then it'll pull back again. Those wicks are very deadly on the hour. They're all lining up together, the last 3-hour
Yeah.
candles.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It looks scary.
Ted, have I entered? Yes, I had a buy stop at 134.850, which got slipped to 857.
okay, what's this? USD CAD 15-minute potential entry. Potential entry. I think you need to wait for candles to start going bearish before taking an entry. Yeah. Ooh, UJ chart. Price is strongly bearish, waiting for 30 minutes to break support to sell. Nah, I think it's closing bearish.
Yeah.
Just gotta look left.
I'm gonna like it until I get stuck in that range. Hopefully at 8 a.m. we should get that push up.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not liking the idea. It's like a very nice range.
I don't like it either.
No.
Still flying the top of the range.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching right now. I'm just watching the hour chart. We need the hour to flip bullish. We needed to go back up to 850 for this to be valid for the next hour, because otherwise this next hour is going to fly right down to 650.
You got 9 minutes. This was my first chart. This one, put on the and then the buy limit was this one. The second one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Any trades to place on my Pipper trade account? Well, this is a early entry I have, anticipating this to close bullish. If it closes above 134.830, I'm going to stay in it. But if it closes something right over here, then I'm going to probably exit the trade. But then I also have a stop loss if it starts to come down, so it should take me out over here.
Yeah, GJ's acting out for real. I'm closing.
How did you wait? What's this? How come you entered a buy in a range? Well, once this candle was starting to break the high of the 30-minute candle, I entered a buy, anticipating it's going to continue moving up. But as it's coming down over here, I just got out of my position right here. So I took a loss right here. I closed before it hit my stop. Because, you know, there's like 6 minutes left, and for it to continuing up over here, it seems very highly unlikely. So it's better to just get out and just wait longer.
Yeah, look at that. Look at this 5 minute. Wow, we got 166 on Zoom.
If you had waited, then you wouldn't have gotten that loss as you had analyzed earlier. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've taken this trade before in NY2, anticipating the NY Open to push up, but, you know, there's the probability. Plus, also, I knew exactly how much I was losing. I mean, I'm down, what, $180? So that's perfectly fine. 190. Will you buy if resistance is respected? No, now I'm just gonna wait for it to close above over here or close below support here. Because this obviously didn't work out as I had hoped.
Yeah. If you take a look at the 1 hour, you're gonna see the retest to the previous hourly candle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was right.
That was my concern.
I closed.
What I saw to the left. Oh, okay. You see, yeah, this makes sense there. The yellow line there, you got it at the very base of the 30-minute candle. Yeah. Beautiful.
Coming close to my stop.
What was your entry?
850. Oh, 857.
Yeah. It looks so good though. It looked like it was gonna break nicely, and nope.
Yeah, it's stuck in that range. So. I don't understand why your stop loss was below current candle. Well, where else would you put a stop loss?
What do you think of going to like the 5-minute to get a more precise entry with the 5-pip stop loss to get a better support? I don't think that is a good idea because the 5-minute are weak confirmations. So you would want to go based off the higher time frame confirmations. That's going to be much better for the long run.
Just playing around.
Yeah, that's the only risk with this one, wouldn't it? Potentially getting stuck in that range if it didn't. But
The only wish for this one is to give us a clean breakout so we can take a trade, innit, mate?
Yeah, mate. And some tea and biscuits, mate.
Are we all doing all right?
Chris, thank you very much for the sell in London session.
Yeah, good man.
Whoa.
Glad you got it, dude. Well done.
That was a ballistic sell, that one.
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
It
Just happened, mate, all by itself.
Oh, my grandpa. I mean, yeah, I kept playing Call of Duty. So.
Yeah, see, now it's closing where I wanted it to close before.
Because they heard you on the stream, man.
Yeah. Now it's closing exactly where I wanted to close, and the next New York Open candle is just going to poof.
Yeah. That was quite the seesaw battle there. I was in rough waters, but now we're back to
calm waters.
Yeah.
Back to the swamp.
Gotta wait for it to close.
I was going to say, you still got a minute yet. Calm yourself.
No, it's not. It's not. We're not out yet. So
yeah.
I think that this 5-minute candle that popped up was probably my exit to get out without getting damaged too much. I'm gonna now at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna see if we can get a quick spike up and I can get out at like break even. If it doesn't start to plow up before this minute close.
You were like 10 pips off for break even?
Yeah, now I'm 10 pips. I was 5 pips just a second ago. Oh, there we go.
Hey, it's gonna get there.
This chart here, I mean, you have potential entry for sells and confirmation for buys, so I don't know what's going on over here. Very.
I just closed.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's a really strong resistance.
Yep, I'm out. I lost 5 pips. Okay.
That's chilling. Better than 10.
This New York Open volume should break this thing now.
Oh. Preach,
Trust me, I was thinking the same.
Yeah, because we closed bullish here, closed above, broke the high of the previous 30-minute candle. So it just makes sense. It just wouldn't make sense for it to not go above resistance now.
Oh, I know. We all got in early, that's all. Yeah. I'm not taking another trade.
Like, the higher probability is it to go bullish because of
100%.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Good morning.
I just don't like the way that it's closed with in the higher time frames. I think
like
that
doji kind of.
Yeah, there's still more indecision there.
Potentially.
But I do agree on the smaller time frames, us going to like break 900 and then back up to 135, 100. But it's not tradable for me. Let's put it that way. I see it happening, but I can't figure out a way to do it. My trade that I entered previously was my entry that I thought I would get there with. I can't do it now. I'm not going to try.
Yeah. I mean, even on 5 minutes, it just looks rough. It's just, yeah.
Chances are it's going to get there. I'm a betting man. I'll bet $100,000 that it'll get there. How it's going to get there, I don't know, because I can't find an entry.
With this 30-minute candle.
Yeah, but
with this 30-minute candle, it's going to get there.
It's hard because where do you get an entry? It's like the 5-minute candle. Like you would have had to literally get in right at 8 a.m. and hope that 5-minute candle held support.
Somebody owes someone $100,000.
People here are trying to sell GJ. I think you should sell GJ once you have candles closing bearish, not bullish.
Yeah, that's trading 101.
People in the YouTube stream are just selling GJ and just, I don't know.
Yeah, so now it's going to go to 900, and I exited my trade in a loss.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, well done. Good call. Well,
yeah, but look at it in the positive way that it was 5 pips instead of 10.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't. I'm not concerned. I just, if we had got this kind of move in the last 15-minute candle, I would have been more happy, right? But we didn't.
That's what we were expecting. So in the last 10 minutes or so, yeah. but it kind of didn't do nothing.
Nope.
It's like I said, that area is very, very tough to break, that 900.
Mhm.
And we should break it with the New York Open. Like right now, the way that the USA Open like started, we should have popped, but we didn't. So it's all right. I'm gonna stick in that range. But
What's
now
the same-
here,
Sorry, go on.
here's the perfect opportunity now. So now you know buy stops above this area are going to be awesome.
Mhm.
And then basically sell stops below 134, 557. So that's basically the easy part now of taking a buy to the upside is we've seen the rejections here, 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 and here. So now you know that any sort of buy above this level over here should be very clean. And what you'll look for is you'll basically, once again, look for the candle that will break. It'll probably pop into that range and then it'll pop up. So that's what you're looking for now on your smaller time frames. I wouldn't be taking entries anywhere over here. I'd be waiting for a candle now to dip and then reject from this zone. So what's happening right now is we're printing a zone right over here. So what I want to see is I want to see a rejection and then drive up. I won't take trades in this area. We tried and it failed because we were anticipating it to go up. Now it's more of the fact that once we reject this and then break up, that's your trade at that point. This here is not a trade. It's going to bounce. And even if it bounces to this area here, you don't know for sure 100% it's going to break. You rather wait for the next candle to push up. Because we tried over here in this range to say, hey, if we break that range, we got a really good entry. But if it didn't break, nothing going on.
It's similar this morning. We didn't get the volume push that I expected in London. It's pretty slow.
Ooh, very nice.
Ted, did I hear you correctly in saying that you wanted it to close above the range?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea, I mean, you can see if we're looking to the future and we're trying to have a crystal ball, you can see that this is starting to try and print a zone, right? Because we keep rejecting that area. So this was a zone here. So all that's happening right now is we're bouncing from that zone to this zone, but it's very tight, but our overall range is very wide. But within this microcosm, we see that we're in that tight range. So if we're anticipating that this is now going to break up, we would probably see us dip a little bit below that zone to the left. And what ends up happening is you get this wick that looks like this, as if we're trying to go down, but we don't go down. And then that drives us through that area. And that's where now you'll see probably the next candle do the same thing. But we're rejecting so hard off this area. There's no point of trying to beat yourself up taking multiple trades there. The idea is wait to see what happens over on the right side and see how candles form over here and then anticipate the play. So here's the breakdown and the rationale of what happened. We anticipated pre-New York on the way to go up. It didn't work. So we got stopped out. Some people made money, some people broke even, some people took a loss. You can't go back at it just as New York opened because we don't have enough information. Now what you're doing is you're breaking your session down into two stages. You can break into three stages, right? You have your pre-New York, you have your USA Open, right? And then you have NYSE, right? So if these ideas, if this idea fails, we cross it out. If this idea fails, we cross it out. Now we're over here to like plan 3. We have to then adjust for that. Those are the ways that you should be marking up your sessions, because then and it's exactly what Rakeel did, is he's like, okay, pre-New York, I believe that we're going to go bullish. And if we don't break, or like if we hold this level, the New York candle open or the USA Open should push us through to this level. So we waited, it didn't break up, so we closed. The USA Open started, it didn't break up and it closed. So now you have to sit and wait again Like this is part of trading. You have to wait. Whereas I've looked and we've failed twice already in my mind, those two ideas in my head of how I break up my session. So really, I'm not looking for another trade. It's very difficult. I would have to see very, very strong candle formations to then look to take a buy at that point, because the structure that we were looking at on the hour and the 30-minute was conducive to the fact that we should break up, but we didn't get that breakup. So then obviously there's something wrong, or there's something that's not happening in the market. So I'm not going to force it at that point, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Thank you.
No problem. Right, because this is your playbook, right? This is you're the session that you're trading in. You're like an athlete in a game or a coach in a game. You know your game has 4 quarters or 9 innings or whatever, 2 halves, whatever it is. When you break up your session into that game, you have to coach yourself through those different periods of the game to make sure that you are able to then say, okay, this failed here, this was successful here, this failed here, this was successful here, and manage yourself accordingly throughout the entire game. Because at 9:30, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, the game's over. You've coached the entire game. We tried buys here, we tried sells here, we tried buys there, we tried sells here. The game is over, right? This is what you're doing. You're running your playbook every day from 6:30 a.m. till 10 o'clock or 9:30 or whenever you finish trading. That's your playbook. So you have to manage yourself as if you're coaching a team, and that's what you're doing. You know there's certain volume pushes at certain times. You know how certain pairs move, the dynamics of those pairs, how fast they move, how quickly they move up and down, how they act in ranges, things of that nature. You have to apply that knowledge and then execute a play at that point.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we got some upper and
Okay, what's this? Took a buy on EJ. Trapping an entry, 30-minute book to have the previous candle. So you're anticipating this to break this area here, just like I did on GJ, and fail. Yeah, that'll look good if it breaks above 117,700. That'll look good to continue going up. What's this? Gold. Goldie gold. Good old gold. Waiting for break and close above. Waiting for break, close, and support created take buys. Above 1724. Yeah, gold was about to break above here and people got excited in the YouTube chat. Just like I got excited on GJ buys. So yeah, I mean, if it breaks it, then yeah, we're going further up.
if this breaks it,
Probably gonna fill this wick over here, 1727, 30, 40 pips away.
wow, I haven't heard it breaks it in a minute.
I still believe this GJ is gonna continue up, especially when the 15 minutes here about to close bullish in 2 minutes. And this New York volume should continue pushing it bullish.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean it's
You only took one trade today, though, right?
me. No, I had 2 trades. I had 2 buys and I closed them both in losses. Yeah. So you know, GJ will continue over here. I re-entered earlier too, so this would be the move that we've been waiting for the whole morning.
The last 2 hours and a half.
don't trust it. I don't trust it.
You still don't trust it, right? Me neither, because I'm looking at the 5 minute and I just see all these spikes up, and the struggle is real.
What do traders do in a recession? Same thing what we do here every day.
Make money, yo.
We have recess. Horrible joke. I just noticed Ted's image on Zoom. It's a coffee maker, or like one of those hotels thing, continental breakfast.
No, it's actually from Breaking Bad. I'm making the coronavirus.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a continental breakfast from like a Motel 6 or something. They give you like 2 pancakes and coffee.
No.
Just saying.
It's Breaking Bad. You know when they're in the bottom of the chicken farm?
Mm-hmm.
That's their lab. That's what it was.
Yeah, it still looks like a coffee machine.
All right, cool.
If gold takes off, I'm gonna be so mad, LOL. Well then, identify your risk, identify how much you're willing to lose if you do take a buy, and if it goes up, you're gonna be happy. But if it hits your stop loss, you're still gonna be happy because you knew that you're gonna lose that X amount of dollars. That's why stop loss is very nice because, like, you will know exactly how much you're gonna lose. So you put that on the table, you're like, okay, this is my risk, and if I lose it, I'm okay with it. Because I win more than I lose, so it shouldn't matter. AUD USD, if price breaks this minor support level, we look for retest to take a buy target at, I think we meant sell. If price breaks this minor resistance level, we look to take a buy target. Yeah, looks good. I think the first target is going to be probably right over here as well. So it's good so far. I have a question. Okay, let's take a look at this question. If this current 4-hour doesn't manage to fill the previous wick, is the next 4-hour most likely to fill the wick, or is resistance not playing a big role? I think the resistance is going to play a big role because for the 4-hour to fill the wick, you want the smaller time frames to break above this area, just like here on GJ. You want these time frames to break above 134, 880, 900 to continue going up. Same thing. Oh, gold actually broke it. Yeah, I think it's going to fill the wick. Oh, yep, I think it's going to continue going now. Someone was saying if they miss the buy, they'll be very mad. Well, there you go. Probably getting mad now.
Yeah, I have gold buys with my stop loss below this current 1 hour candle.
That is good. I like that. I think you're in a really good spot. I liked buys above 1716, but it was just ranging and then it broke out at 8 a.m., which is awesome. That was a good 50 pip move.
Thank you for the signal, Tashan.
Yeah, because as long as, I don't know if he's got it on the screen. Okay, yeah, so if you go into, I'm going to go into my chart over here so you can see how I kind of came to that. Because I was talking to Ted last night and I was saying to him that I want a retest, and this was before it broke up, before 1700. So I said I want a retest of 1700 before a buy. But if you go to the 15-minute, you'll see that there's been 2 liquidity grabs, and resistance was actually at 1720. There was a liquidity grab initially to like 17.25, up, and then it came down to 17.09, and they went back up to 17.25 again. But actual resistance where it's been respecting and touching the most is 17.20, and support is at like 17.17. So then if you go to the daily, that basically is the bottom wick of this daily candle. And so what should happen is, with more liquidity coming in, is this daily should continue up higher past 17.25. I don't know where it's going to go, but when I've got my profit, I'll close.
Okay, what's this? GP CAD. Retest, continuation up. Yep, I like this. It's trending, it's pricing break was this resistance point support. Yeah, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at GP CAD. That is strong. Yeah, I think all pound pairs, GP CAD, GJ, they're all approaching some sort of resistances here. CAD is weak. Weakness in CAD will push GP CAD further up.
Just like for people that are wondering why gold's moving the way it is, like a little bit of fundamental context, is when there's periods of stimulation, fiscal policy from the US government, what you get is you get like a kind of opposites. So there's a lot of fear in the markets right now, especially because it's like the boy who cried wolf with Trump. He's saying a lot of stuff regarding reopening the economy and saying stuff with oil. And if you look into these types of things, these scenarios, what he's saying isn't true. He's just trying to create kind of excitement in the markets and move prices. So a lot of people kind of anticipate that. And so you have to realize that on the metals side of things, they're kind of a hedge against currency, because gold and silver, no liabilities can be held against gold and silver. So with fear in the markets and with the kind of margin calls and liquidity already being finished now, as what Ted was saying with regarding to the spreads increasing, what you're seeing now is you're seeing people get into gold as a leading indicator of fear, basically. So that's kind of fundamentally why. Another reason is because of emerging markets in Asia. A lot of those guys, a lot of Asian countries kind of, they sell oil, and all oil is sold in the US dollar. That's what the reserve currency of oil is. It's called the petrodollar. So what that means is when you sell oil, you have to have a reserve currency or like an amount as a cushion in US dollars. But because there's no oil selling going on, because nobody needs oil, there's too much. Well, a lot of these countries, they don't have enough dollars. So what they've had to do is they sold the gold holdings. But as well, it hasn't happened yet. But as the oil price starts to stabilize, and as the US dollar is putting more, as the US government is putting more US dollars into the economy, what you're seeing then is these emerging markets are starting to get back into gold as a hedge now against the oil prices, because they've already sold the gold, right? So now they've got more liquidity. The stock markets in those countries are starting to stabilize a little bit, and you're seeing that these emerging markets in Asia, these economies, are now just starting to prolong the price of gold, and that's why you're seeing a big bull run on gold right now. It should continue up, I hope.
That's good beauty.
Yeah, and then silver's like a really good one right now, but you have to be careful with silver, because there's like one bank that controls all the silver, and that's JP Morgan. And the last few years, they've already been kind of penalized. They've been charged. Well, they've been charged, but they haven't been sentenced. With regards to like precious metals manipulation. They've been charged with that, like I think 6 different executives of the precious metals trading floor. So you have to be careful with silver. But when gold goes into a bull run, silver outperforms gold. And then you have to look into the gold and silver ratio. historically, and you can kind of see what kind of price targets are possible with silver. With gold, if you look on, I've got a picture here actually. I'll try and figure out a way to send it. But the 8 biggest central banks in the world, they forecast what they're looking for gold to hit this year. It's called the Global Central Bank Assets versus Gold, and it's the eight biggest central banks, and their target for gold this year is 2,400. So I'll send that over, and you guys can make of that what you will.
Man, this GJ keeps teasing 134, 8, 78, 80. It's tickling it again and again and again.
It's so annoying.
And
because it's in a range.
Yeah. Once it comes above 134, 900, it's gone.
You know what? Maybe we should take range off and just delete it. And maybe it's not in a range.
Wow.
I'm trying to find a gold entry. That's what I've been trying to do. I can't find one. This sucks.
Yeah, I've been looking at similar.
I'm like, where could I take a gold entry? Oh, 5 minutes before a 30-minute candle? No, that's not going to work.
I took one. I ended up getting stuck in the range and ended up closing up break even. So
well, I'm
that's
hoping
my
that
only
it can pull back into like 1725
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah.
At 8:30, and then I can drive it back up to 1728. But it doesn't look that way.
I mean, I was looking at my long-term views and stuff over to the, the old daily stuff from before. When I've got 1736 as a target event. Not maybe now, but there was a few I've had.
I have on my chart, I have off the monthly now.
Have you? Well, okay.
Monthly, I'm looking. Well, actually, we're at 7. Yeah, I was thinking 17. Where is it here?
I've got 36 and 50.
Yeah, 36 and 50. That's what I've got too. We've got pretty much the same levels, and then ultimate target at like 1800.
Yeah, I kind of didn't want to put it on my screen just in case, because I was like, "Is that tempting?"
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
see
just
it.
really weird. I mean,
Basically, I got all them levels from back on the daily from. No, actually, I think they're from weekly levels. Actually, all the way from 2012 again.
I just found it funny for all the people trying to sell gold.
Yeah, I've got a few dislikes on the stream today because I think people took sales.
Hey, morning, gentlemen.
What up?
Hey, Burner.
I was gonna say for gold longs, I'm looking long term 1781 off the week. If you look at the weekly.
You know what? That would actually be my next one after 50. Yeah, near enough.
Yeah, because you'll see that we broke out of it back in 2011, and then for about a month we stayed above, and then over the past couple years after that, we kept testing that 1781 area, but we rejected it each time.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, nice one.
I can't see that far on. Could anyone send me a chart so I could kind of have a look at that, please?
Yeah,
you got to go to the monthly.
Yeah, monthly or maybe weekly. I think you get. Can you get it on weekly?
No, it's so well, it's hard. Yeah, I can't get it on MT5. I think on TradingView you can get it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I can't get it on MT5. Yeah.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
So
Gold.
Sean, check the chat, man.
Gold, right?
GJ.
Yeah, GJ did it. He got to 900.
It just needs to close above, and we're off.
I'm glad I didn't lose 100K.
GJ, don't be suspicious.
All right. Nick, you got it for T or what?
Yeah, I sent it to the chat, man. Just check the chat.
You re-entered rakeel?
What's that? No.
You re-entered? Okay.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Are you going to re-enter if it closes above 900?
Yes.
Oh, no. Not me. Well, I don't know about rakeel.
See, it made its first move into 134,900. So if it starts to come back up again, then I think it's gonna be a better opportunity to take a buy and then go up. Wait. On that situation.
If anyone's watching the indices I'm watching US 30 or DGI USD, depending on what broker you're using, or Dow 30 or whatever it is. The weekly candle is actually pretty nasty right now to fly all the way up to probably 24,000, 25,000.
Oh, got it.
Ooh.
Good work, man.
Nice one.
Got in 134,900.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people they might say regarding fundamentals. Oh, wow, Rakeel, are you still in on GJ?
Yep.
Yep.
There's that clean move that we talked about.
Yep.
Acting
Well done.
suspicious.
Well done, man.
Well done, Rakeel.
Yep. Very well
Finally got it.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. That was like, what, 10 pips?
Yeah. Almost. Not there yet.
That's
Not 9.7, 9.7 pips. Let me get a 0.3. Let me get a 0.3.
Once again, the market has defeated us.
Well, halfway defeated. I'd say we like,
Oh yeah, we had the right idea. We just had the wrong entry.
and the wrong
It's
time.
just a little bit too early, I think. That's all.
Yeah, at the wrong time. But that gladiator candle, I mean,
See, this candle's about to close. It's closing above this resistance now, and you can expect the next one to continue bullish.
so full margin buys, guys.
A lot of people were wondering why gold spread has decreased, and some of it's to do with like how the LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, and COMEX work together. So COMEX have made like a few different ways that they can satisfy investor demand, and one of the new ways they've done is called an ACE. It's an accredited certificate of exchange. So that basically means that what's COMEX? So an accredited certificate of exchange basically means that they can pay you whenever they feel like. They can just pay. Yeah, but that's basically what it is. So if they don't have your gold in their vault right now, what they can say is, you can say, okay, look guys, we don't have your gold right now, but at a future date we can pay you X amount. So that's why you're seeing a gold spread, because they've made notes to say that they have the gold, on top of having notes that say they have the gold, even though they don't have the gold. So a lot of people are beginning to realize that now, especially because they're doing these things where they can do partial satisfaction of your gold note, of your bond. And so what that means is COMEX, the New York version of the gold vaults, they defaulted on a lot of basically gold deliveries. And so to prevent like absolute chaos going on in the gold markets, the London bullion market sent over gold to New York, and London have 400 ounce ingots, and New York only sell 100, but they had to remelt it. So what they were doing with the partial option exchanges is they were saying, look, here's a 100 ounce ingot, keep that, and at a future date we'll start shipping you the rest of your 400 ounce ingot orders. But the only problem with that is coming into May with gold spreads is that the demand for, because what happens is the COMEX, they take orders for their gold a month in advance. So April's orders were happening in March, and May's orders were happening in April, or are happening in April now, and May's are outpacing demand for like ever. The May's orders for gold demand is higher than what it was last month. So we could potentially see spreads skyrocket again. Just a heads up.
All right, I'm just securing GJ here now. Yeah, since there was a clean move in London, this should have like almost a cleaner move here as well, just like Ted said earlier.
You got it.
Very nice, Raja.
Well, I'm just glad the bias was correct.
Yeah, on top of the range, yeah.
There were a lot of people in cells in the YouTube chat when the candles were bullish. So scary.
I like fading the YouTube chat. GJ's a sell, guys. Okay, go for it.
I mean, if the candles start to close bearish, then I would say yeah, for sure.
Agreed. I mean, that's the biggest thing is trade what you see, not what you think. Like, don't be a hero. Like, we explained this whole move right here. Where is it here? Clean move, and surprise, what's happening? Like, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure this shit out. Like, people just have to realize that, you know, you look at probability and understand that all what you're doing is a financial gamble within risk management. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be. And be confident in the fact that, yeah, if this is how the market's going to move the majority of time, you're going to make money the majority of time. Don't be surprised that the market did what it did again. Like, don't be in that shock. I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to be in a shock that, gold's moving up or GJ's moving up. You're supposed to win. You've worked hard enough for you to execute and take entries and make money. Like, why would you discount your information and your knowledge now? This is where you should be the most confident. When you've seen stuff happen over and over again, you should be attacking and be happy. And just at the same point, manage your risk, obviously, but don't turn around and try and defeat yourself that way. In hindsight, it's easy to read why did you take minus 5 pips and bash others. I didn't bash anybody. I said that the idea didn't execute according to what I wanted it to do at that particular time, so that's why I closed. But I didn't want anyone taking sells. We talked about where you take sells. You're taking sells below this area here. I mean, Michael Knight, I think you have to go back and rewatch the stream, and nobody bashed anybody. We just said you're in a range and you shouldn't be trying to take sells in a range. We're looking for buys because we were trying to break to the upside. I think there's a little bit of anger in the YouTube chat because they don't know how to understand what we're doing.
Wow, gold is pushing higher.
Mm-hmm.
With the 1750? Damn.
Yeah. That's a good point. So Sudden Impact said, do you think people sabotage themselves because they don't feel they deserve to be wealthy? I think a lot of people sabotage themselves because they don't realize how much work they've put into something, and when they make money and it comes very quickly, they feel as though that they should have done something more difficult to earn it. a perfect example is I look at some of my friends that are professional poker players. I mean, they've worked very hard at their craft, and when they play poker, they win a large sum of money. They don't feel that they don't deserve it. It's like they've put in the hours to grind to get that money. I think most people here that show up to the YouTube chat every morning, or that trade regularly, should feel accomplished that they're making money, and you should not even feel that you don't deserve it. If you don't deserve the money, give it away. I think everyone that trades has worked very, very hard to get where they've gotten to, and you've been on this journey like say 5-6 years. You're damn right that I deserve $1 million a month. Like, I deserve that. I mean, I deserve more. And I think people have to get used to that you, as fast as you can lose money, you can also make money. So if you get upset when you lose money, you shouldn't be in a position mentally when you win money that you didn't deserve it. Like, I took a loss today on GJ. I'm not upset about it, but when I take wins, I deserve those wins because I've also taken losses that is part of the game. Don't ever knock yourself because you're good at something. You should be good at everything. You should have that confidence to be good at everything that you do. If you don't have that confidence about being good at everything you do, I mean, you need to fix that mindset. I mean, it's not an arrogance. It's just a confidence. It's like, hey, we've seen this move happen several times over the last few years or the last few months. It should happen again. I'm confident. I'm not arrogant about it. I'm confident because I've seen it happen before. You would be confident too if you studied the charts. And that's, I think that's the biggest thing that people have to recognize is, just understand that the work that you're putting in, you've put in hours of work to execute for 15 or 20 minutes in a day. That's a lot of work. That's more work than most people work in a 9-to-5. You just enjoy it more. That's all. That's the difference. I mean, people enjoy trading, so we can sit here for 3 hours and stare at a chart and execute for 5 minutes. I mean, anyone else would think this is horseshit, right? Think about it. You're sitting here for 2 hours and you're executing for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. You are not being very productive in terms of actual work to nothing ratio, I guess, because you're doing nothing the majority of time and executing for that small window. So, be thankful that you can do that.
Man, see, if you had your buy stops at 134,900, should be up a good like 10 pips. I've been learning Forex for the past 3 weeks, and first week I came up to your stream. It's kind of boring, but now I'm still to monitor. Yeah, I think these streams are very, very interesting. I mean, if I was a new trader, this would be my go-to place. Every morning, even if I don't copy the trades that these guys take on the stream, I'd just be like, oh yeah, perfect, I'll just have it running in the background. I think that's what most people do here. They just keep them running in the background for, it's like a radio show. But yeah, I should continue moving to like, 135, 050, 135, 100. The only selling confirmation you could have had was when this candle closed bearish. And after this candle's high was broken over here, all selling confirmation should have gone out the window. Because when the 30-minute candle over here closed bullish, this one, that's when I started looking for buys actively. Took a buy, got stopped out, then took a buy again, and had a buy stop, and eventually start to win because the candles start to close in my direction, and it just made sense. See, look at the one I pumped.
I was going to say, do you think the 4 hour might flip?
4 hour. Yeah.
4 hour, mate.
4 hour might flip, mate. Some biscuits.
That daily as well, because this daily, if this daily closes bullish, Monty, next daily kind of heading straight up.
You best believe I'll be looking forward to the morning.
Best believe we're gonna be all April bullish.
It'd be nice if that 4 hour can close bullish or super weak bearish and then just break above.
If not, it doesn't make any sense.
Thoughts on UJ? I think you need to send a chart. Would you be worried at all about this no wick on the bottom on GJ? No, not really, because I've already secured positions. So I'm not worried about if this candle comes down. I'm not worried about if it goes up, because my stops are at break even, and that's it. Basically, after this, I mean, the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to log off and my trading day is going to end. So it doesn't matter even if I log off, there's volume in the market. It doesn't really matter because I have a strict time, and you need to follow a strict time to spend on the charts. Even though, especially now when we're all home, most people. No, you know what's interesting? I'll tell you guys what's interesting. Interesting thing is, now I talk to a lot of people, right? And majority people who are now working from home, they've told me that their progress in trading is way less now than it was when they were working. You know, and the only reason is when they were working, they only had limited time to spend on the charts and they only took selective trades. But now since they have time, or they're working from home, now they got all this time to spend time on the charts, and it's impacting their trading negatively.
That's actually very true, Rakeel, with me as well.
Yeah, right.
When I stay home, I make worse trades because I'll tend to be impulsive and over trade. But if I'm on the job, it keeps me busy, you know. So I make a couple trades and I'm done.
Yeah, easy to do, man.
So this is Nick Burner here, YouTube chat. The Spider-Man of America.
Of America.
He wild, B.
Oh, look at that.
Burner Nicholas.
You still have a runner, Rakeel?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it running. I had a buy stop at 134.900. Slipped me, and it slipped me at like 134.928. Slipped me almost 3 pips. So I got a stop loss at break even on that position. That's about it. Ooh, gold came
I
right
think it was
back down.
Ted that said he wanted to get a retest at 1725, right? On gold. Rakeel, have you seen the weekly on GJ?
Yep, bullish.
Yeah, it looks good, right? To fill that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you keep your runner in anyway.
Yeah, like around 136, 500, 400.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I see that gap on the daily.
That's clean right there, man.
That's clean. Look at this daily.
That's clean right there.
Let me remove all this and take a look at this, right? This.
Rakeel, do not close this runner, man.
Yeah.
Don't close it.
Yeah, I'll leave it open. I mean, if it gets stopped out, then, you know, what can we do? I mean, I had a buy from Asian session as well, but it got stopped out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Where was that? What price was that?
That buy in Asian I took at...
That was before the big move, right?
Yeah, this was at 134,690.
Jeez.
Yeah, it got stopped out. Because I was hoping that this buy would take me all the way to, 136. We got stopped out overnight. yeah, this was a good trade on TJ. Pretty happy. Made my losses back and more. Can we still get in GJ? Well, your stop is going to be much bigger right now.
Just wait for London close.
Yeah, rakeel.
Hey.
When you're done over here, do you want to play COD?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, I get it. So somebody else wants to play COD, but
Play with the winners, right?
COD when you're ready.
Funny thing, if Mike would say let's play COD, it would be completely personal. But I'm down to play.
USD CAD 15-minute sell entries over here, stop loss here, confirmation to sell right here, first take profit here. Looks good. I don't understand when people ask, can we still get in GJ? We sat here for 2 hours waiting. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we waited here for 2 hours to get in the trade, and once it's done, you're like, can we get in now? Could you show 4 profitable quarters? It's 10K on the line. Oh. Well, it's not my 10K, so I don't care.
Somebody's betting.
Have you guys played though? I have the stream running as I'm back testing or logging in. Tempted to add in gold. Tempted to add in gold. See, with gold you're playing Russian roulette with the spread. I just saw it jump from 3 pips to 10 pips to 6 pips. So that's the problem with gold. With gold, like, your stops are wide. Like, you're gonna have wide stops, you know, like 30, 35 pip stops. Oh, Logan, I think I have you added. Yeah, I have you added. Wait for it.
Yeah, that was for anybody else who wanted to team up and play.
I want to set up the lobby.
How are the spreads back to normal now? You know, gold for me is a no trade zone.
Okay, बस.
Haven't looked at gold in a while, in like a month. We have a lot of cowboys in our group who trade gold very successfully, so I'll leave it to them. So if you've missed the trade here in GJ, I think a better one would be to wait to see if it starts to come down, create some sort of support, and then start to go up. Or if you're already in gold like me, GJ, then yeah, it should be good. Do you leave runner at break even until it's TP, or do you trail your stop? I'm probably gonna leave a runner at break even. My runner is gonna be at break even. I don't want to TP. I really want to see if I can take this runner till 136 200, 136 400.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, that'll be
Do
great.
it. Do it.
That's gonna be me pushing my limits of holding.
Just depends how deep the next 4 hour goes. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
There's this little wick right here. I'm gonna give you some problem. This one right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Guys, I'm off. Take care. Look after yourselves and each other.
See you, dude.
Bye, yesterday.
Bye, mate.
Where would you have placed a stop on GP CAD? I would have placed it. I wouldn't have taken a buy on GBP CAD. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken a buy on GP CAD. Maybe if I was looking at it, I may have thought about something, but it just doesn't seem like there was a opportunity. So GJ looked much better since I was watching it for so long. I think a buy stop would have been better about, you know, that resistance you had. But honestly, GJ did exactly what we anticipated it to do early morning. See the 30-minute candles, higher highs, higher lows, clean uptrend. Alright, I used my magic keys and I closed 50% off my runner. So at least I have something in the bag and I'm letting the rest run till eternity. What makes you not put a trailing stop that's in profit for your runners as the other small time frames kind of can point in direction? Because if I have a trailing stop, okay, so my entry is right over here somewhere. So if I put a trailing stop, that can take out my trade. So the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to get taken out at, so I had a 3-lot buy here. I closed 1.5, 1.5 is running now. So if it comes down, the worst that's going to happen, it's going to tap me out at break even. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that it might keep running till, let's take a look at the daily here, till 136.200. That's the best case scenario. So yeah, it's like 100 pips. So 0 risk and a $1,500 return. I think it's pretty good. If that was a 10 lot, that would have been a 15,000. But I haven't really got to the level of where holding big lots as runners yet. Oh, we've reached 135, 100. There we go. That was one of the targets. 135, 100.
Yeah, that's good work, dude.
Yeah. What broker do you recommend using? Well, Steven Graziano, I think you can see all that information in the description. I knew it, man. Someone's going to come along and they'll ask questions that's answered in the description.
GJ 4-hour looks good now.
Yeah. So do you leave this stop loss at break even and let it run to your super target? Yes. I'm still trying to figure out how to manage my 50% runners. Well, the easiest way to manage 50% runners is to put stops at break even and let market do its thing. That's the easiest way. Let it do its dance. What would you have done differently if you would have taken the trade, the first trading in? when I would have taken this first trade, I would have been smarter, I guess, and I would have placed my stop below this bearish candle. Because when I took a buy over here, I put my stop below the current 30-minute low, which was right over here at the time. And I think I should have placed it below the 30-minute candle over here, which would have made sense. Which would have made more sense. So I think my stop was too aggressive here for the first entry. And the second entries were pretty nice. I mean, it was over here, one was over here, and then had a buy stops at 134.900. So they got slipped by 2-3 pips. But still, you know, we got the move that we were looking for. What do you guys like to see for someone to be able to trade with you? Well, Ben, you can trade, you can come over here and you can do the same thing. What do you think about NQ recovery? NASDAQ? I'm guessing that's NASDAQ. I don't trade NASDAQ. I don't know much about NASDAQ, so I don't think I'm the right person to ask about NASDAQ. I know someone else here knows about NASDAQ recovery. Ooh, someone just earned 45. If you go break even with the magic keys, is your stop loss placed to entry point or slightly above entry point? Every time I tune into the stream, good things happen. I wonder why I even follow anyone else. Well, that's your decision. I get antsy when price goes into profit. Yeah, I mean, so you just gotta accept that, right? Like if I look at my runner right now, it's running at $220 in profits, right? And if it comes down to break even, I'm gonna make zero. But if it keeps on running, then I'm gonna make much more. But I've already secured some too. Like right now, it's running at almost 16, 17 pip profits. So I've already secured around, you know, like 20, 22. So this will be a bonus.
Yeah, that's how you should see it. I mean, the original analysis, your trade's complete, right? So
Yep.
it's done. It's just, you know, it's risk now. Just have a go. It's a free shot. I mean, the original play is done. So that's all you got to think about.
That's all you gotta think about.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my main goal is to, well, our main goal is to break Bloomberg live people here. Bloomberg has 3,000 people watching. We have about 2,000. I think within the next 4 or 5 months, it's going to reach 3,000. 4 or 5 months go by really quick. You know.
Big time.
Ooh, Ted was right about 1725.
Yeah, I missed my chance. I was looking.
Looks like 5 minutes gonna rally up over here. Broke the high at 1729. Oh wow. 1730. Should keep on pushing here. 32, 33. It's crazy. CAD weakness also coming in. Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator here for shits and giggles. Ooh, CAD is weak. Pound is strong. Can we have a 4-hour bearish wick fill on TJ? I don't think so. Because for us to have a 4-hour bearish wick fill, you would need price to come break below 134.900, come back in this range, and then continue down to fill the wick. So yeah, it's going to be very tricky. So what happened on the 1 hour? Let's take a look at this one. 1 hour here. It's kind of what's happening on the 4 hour here. See this 4 hour close like this with a big wick, and take a look at this 1 hour candle that closed bearish with a big wick. It's kind of what's happening on the 4 hour, right? This means that price went all the way down, and then the small time frames gave us confirmations that we're going up. So we took buys and price went up. And now look, this candle closed with a very weak bearish candle. So this means there's less volume in the 4 hour to continue bearish. So if you think this 4 hour is going to go up, what you got to do? You have to look for a support formed on a smaller time frame. Let's say the 15-minute or the 30-minute. And then you say, oh, we've found a support, price broke up, so this probably means that price is going to continue up. Did you take EST Mon challenge before? No, I don't like paying to get demo accounts. I didn't do that. But I think it's a good idea. I mean, if you want to feel how it feels like to trade bigger accounts, then go for it. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. I think I have reached the end of the road here.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, have a good afternoon. We'll catch you
All
later,
right,
no
mate.
doubt.
Take
Take
care.
care, everybody.
Oh, mate.
Take care, Rakeel.
Take care, man. Thank you. Thank you.
See you
Thank
later.
you, Raja.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shukriya,
Shukriya.
everybody.
Shukriya, shukriya.